Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is I, Jolting Joe, coming to you from my back porch on Tuesday, April the 18th, around 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. And, let's see. Oh, what are you drinking? What are you smoking? Here we go. Um, this is the Filthy Hooligan, once again, from Alec Bradley. Now, this is the regular one with just the two wrappers. This is the last one that I have of this particular cigar. I got one more of the triple wrapper. Probably smoke that one next week, but this is the final one of that one. So, smoked it before, but there you go. That's what I'm doing. And then, as far as what are you drinking, I've done this before. We're going to start off with the regular St. Arnold's French Press, the coffee porter. All right, we'll start off with we're going to start off with that, but also later, I will do the cognac barrel aged French press. That'll come a little bit later, but I'll probably drink both these while I'm sitting out here. Okay. All right. So let's crack this. Let's see here. Hold on a second. Get this kind of get that situated there. All right. Let's crack this bad boy open, shall we? All right. Okay. There we go. Ooh, hold on a second. There we go. All right. Right that in there. Oh. Mm, got some on my fingers there. Oh, All right. Cheers, everybody. Mm, okay. Well, I'm wearing my free giveaway Michael Brantley T-shirt today, and I'm Michael Brantley still, of course, on the IL with the Astros, but wearing my Michael Brantley shirt and wearing my Space City hat today because the City Connect uniforms were worn yesterday. The Astros wear their Space City uniforms, the City Connect uniforms, every Monday at home. And so we did go to the game last night. It was my brother-in-law's birthday. We set up in the club level there at Minute Maid Park. I got to see a big Astros win, 9-2. Had a 7-run first inning for the Astros last night, and so the Space City unis kind of worked out last night. So there you go. So all right. Uh, NBA playoffs have started. NHL playoffs have started. Um, let's see. NFL wise, not a lot going on. Jalen Hurts, though, did sign a contract extension for a shit ton of money. And so Philadelphia's going to, they locked up Jalen Hurts. The money that quarterbacks are getting is just really, really freaking stupid. But that's that's kind of all it is Bill O'Brien going back to be in the OC? Oh yeah, Bill O'Brien is the OC back in New England. Look at that. Anyway, also to the Bills, Denny Hamlin, who of course had the cardiac arrest on the field, he's been cleared to participate in football, so good on him. Let's see anything else in the top there. Not real much going on in draft stuff just yet. Draft is getting early, but nothing really going on. Like I said, really nothing too much going on with the draft just yet. Uh, everybody's Carolina maybe he's going to take Bryce Harper. Then whether the Texans do it number two, but hopefully take a quarterback. Oh, another bit of NFL news. It's my fucking team. I forgot. Uh, John Harris, who owns the Philadelphia 76ers. He also owns the New Jersey Devils. He put in a bid on the Commanders for $6.05 billion. That's with a B, $1 billion. It is a non-exclusive offer, meaning that if anybody wants us to match it or better it. They still have the opportunity to do so. Josh Harris, though, did file the sale with the NFL, so the NFL can review it. The sale will not be final until May when the owners meet. The owner should have no problem approving the sale to Josh Harrison, or to Josh Harris, excuse me, or John Harris. Man, I'm fucking all the way up. But they shouldn't have any problem doing that because John Harris tried to buy the Denver Broncos before the Waltons outbid him and got the Broncos. And so, of course, he owns two other sports franchises. So he should have no fucking issue whatsoever. Uh, uh, buying the Commanders, and all of us Commander fans are rejoicing. All right, we just want a good product on the field. Now, the $6 billion, it will set a record for a sports franchise. Period. When Dan Snyder bought the back then Washington Redskins from Jack Kent Cooke's estate, he bought it for $750 million. At the time, that was the record for the most spent on a sports franchise. And the reason it was so much is because it came with the stadium, because Jack Cook financed the stadium with his own money. Now, as part of that, part of the reason it's going to be $6 billion is because it does come with FedEx Field, which is a shithole. We all know that. All right, it's a dump, and it also comes with the Commander's training facility in Virginia, which is also a fucking dump from everything that I've heard too. So the first thing that they'll probably do is look for a site to build a new stadium. Hopefully it gets built in DC, but really the only good place to put it's where RFK is at now. And of course, you got to tear down RFK first, and then second of all, DC is going to have to get the land from the federal government and approve a plan. And so we'll see if anything of that comes to fruition. There's also, and Josh Harris is from the DC area, by the way. That's part of the reason that he wanted to buy the Commanders. He grew up in the area, grew up a Redskin fan. All right, back then it was the Redskins. Okay. Mm. And so maybe there's even talk about building a stadium with like an entertainment district attached to it, kind of what Atlanta did out in the suburbs with Truist Field, where you've got the Battery out there, where you got a bunch of shit going on. And I think the Rangers have. I haven't been up to the new ballpark yet, but I think the Rangers have done the same thing with Globe Life Park. Uh, or is it Globe Life Field? Anyway, the new one, the one with the roof. They've kind of done the same thing and built up an entertainment kind of around the stadium, and there's a possibility that Harris may want to do that. If the team doesn't show any improvement, I think Mayhew is gone, and I think Rivera's gone. But Rivera's got one more year. After this year, he's got one more deal left on his contract, but we'll see what they do this season. And they got to find a fucking quarterback. Hopefully, I don't know if Hal's going to be the answer or not, but whatever. Fuck. Who the fuck knows at this point? I got no fucking idea, man. I got no fucking idea. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on with that. Nobody really cares probably about the XFL, although attendance for the XFL has been really good. They got a lot of folks out. I'm gonna think about going not this week, but maybe next week for the Roughnecks playoff game, because the Roughnecks, of course, were undefeated in the second iteration of the XFL, but of course the pandemic fucked that all up, because the championship game was actually going to be played in Houston, and pandemic, of course, fucked all that up. So the championship game is going to be in San Antonio. But the Roughnecks will have they clinched a playoff spot. So let's see. So Houston has clinched home field advantage for they're only going to do 2 rounds of the playoffs basically. It's just going to be the top 2 teams in the South, the top 2 teams in the North playing each other, and then the winner of those 2 games will face each other in the championship games. But the DC Commanders, of course, have clinched as well. The only 2 teams that have been eliminated have been Vegas and Orlando. So you got Seattle and St. Louis are both 6-3. And San Antonio and Arlington. Arlington right now is 4-5. San Antonio is 3-6. And so, but the USFL started back up this weekend, and the thing that I do not like about the USFL is the fact that they do that hub thing where they're not actually playing in the city that they represent. So, for instance, this week, the Houston Gamblers played, I think it was Michigan or Detroit, whatever the fuck it was. But they played in Memphis. Like, I get they're saving money, but how can I be a fan of the Houston Gamblers if they don't fucking play in Houston? And also too, I turned that game on just to kind of check it out since it was the first week of it, and there was nobody in the fucking stands at all. I mean, it was just fucking empty. And so I don't know. I mean, this is the second season for the USFL. So the first time that since the old USFL that a competing NFL, or football league, spring league, has actually made it to its second season. So but if you're not going to play in the cities that you represent, what the fuck's the point? You know what I mean? I just don't get it. Like, why are you going to, like I said, why is Houston and Michigan playing? Like, is anybody in Houston turning on the USFL to watch the Gamblers because they're just? I mean, but they're Houston in name alone. That's it. That there's no connection to the city, or they're not playing in the city or anything like that. It's just kind of stupid, in my opinion. I think it's dumb. At least with the XFL, they do play in their city, and they had some good turnout. I mean, St. Louis has been a huge XFL town. They had, they've been consistently getting over 30,000 people in the dome there in St. Louis just because they missed football so goddamn much after the Rams left. They had big numbers during the second iteration back in 2020 of the XFL as well. They were getting big numbers, but they're trying to get like 40,000 there. DC sold out. They played like in a little soccer stadium, but it was still 20,000 people for an XFL game. That's way fucking more than the USFL had. Like I said, I think I saw maybe 100 people at the USFL game in Memphis. Like, nobody gives a fucking shit. Like, if you're in Memphis, are you gonna go see the Houston Gamblers and the Michigan Wolverines or whoever the fuck play? I know it's college, but go play in the fucking the Muskrats or whatever. Go play in the fucking Rugby Bowl. Like, why? So I just, man, I don't fucking get it, man. I just don't. So I think because of that, the XFL, which I think are going to be back for a second season, they just might have I think they're going to end up having the advantage over the USFL. So we'll see what the ratings do here as they can kind of compete these last couple of weeks here, as the XFL is winding down and the USFL is starting back up. So yeah, we'll see. All right. All right. Let's go to the NBA playoffs, and we got to go back to last week, to Tuesday. Uh, so we had the play-in game, and the Hawks beat the Miami 116 to 105. And so the Hawks ended up with the seventh seed. Then the Lakers beat the Timberwolves 108 to 102. They ended up with the seventh seed. Then on Wednesday, the Bulls beat the Raptors, and the Raptors were eliminated. And then the Thunder beat the Pelicans, eliminating the Pelicans. And then on Friday, the Heat defeated the Bulls for the number 8 seed, and the Timberwolves defeated the Thunder 120 to 95 for the 8th seed in the West there. All right. So the playoffs got started underway on Saturday. Now, I didn't get to watch much of anything. I was kind of trying to follow a little bit, but baseball's going on. We had shit going on this weekend. I actually went to the game Saturday. Ended up getting free tickets Saturday to the Astros game, which was fucking amazing because I sat right behind the Astros dugout, like literally, like the dugout, like you know, like dugout booth right there, right behind the dugout. But yeah, one of the guys, beer rep, gave him tickets, and there were 4 tickets, and he went, "Hey, you want to go?" I was like, "Yeah, let's go." So me and my wife went, and his significant other went, and we were literally right there behind the Astros. They got on Saturday against the Rangers, and got to see the Astros win that game as well. I think they won that one 8-2 or 9-1 or whatever the fuck it was. But that was a fun time too. So, but on that first game, so first of all, in the East, it was Brooklyn at Philly. Philly won that game 121 to 101 to take a 1-0 series lead in that one. And then also in the East, the Hawks were at the Celtics. Celtics won that game 112 to 99 to take a 1-0 lead.
Then the Knicks went on the road to Cleveland. Knicks beat Cleveland on the road 101 to 97. Knicks are up 1-0 in that series. And then the Kings at home against the Warriors. The Kings were able to win
To beat the Warriors, win their first playoff game, I think in something like 8 years. I think it had been since Sacramento had won a playoff game. But the Sacramento Kings knock off the Warriors to take a 1-0 lead in that one. Move to Sunday. And I did catch the end of this game because the Lakers Grizzlies game was actually close in the fourth quarter until about the last 3 minutes, and then the Lakers just blew the fucking doors off the Grizzlies. I'm not exactly sure what the fuck happened, but Jesus Christ. Uh, but anyway, oh, I should mention too in that Philly game. Who? No, 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 not Philly. That was not Philly. That was never mind, never mind, never mind. Getting ahead of myself. So anyway, John Morant hurt himself. I think he's okay. I think he's going to play for game two. But the Lakers just destroyed him in that fourth quarter, 128 to 112. Then in the East, the Heat beat the Bucks 130 to 117. Giannis, of course, was injured in that game with the back. I think negative. I think X-rays are negative on Giannis. He should be back and ready for game two. But the Heat destroyed the Bucks 130 to 117 without Giannis. Then the Clippers beat the Suns 115 to 110. They went on the road. Road teams had a good fucking day on Sunday, but the Clippers beat the Suns 115 to 110. No Paul George for the Clippers, but they still get the win 115 to 110 to go up 1-0. And then of course the Nuggets they defeat the Timberwolves in Denver 109 to 80. That was an ass whipping, and they take a 1-0 series lead. Then last night was game two between Brooklyn and the Sixers. Sixers took that game as well, 96 to 84. The Sixers now in the driver's seat in that series. They have a 2-0 series lead. Then last night as well, Sacramento beat the Warriors again, 114 to 106. Once again, Sacramento in a driver's seat. That one is now 2 games to nothing. And then tonight on the docket, we have three games. We've got game two, Hawks at Celtics. Game two, Knicks at Cavs. And also game two, Clippers at Suns. All right, so as far as Central Time is concerned, Hawks Celtics will start on NBA TV at 6 o'clock. Then at 6:30 on TNT, we get Knicks Cavs. And then late start, 9 o'clock start time. Which of course in Phoenix is 2 hours behind because they don't do daylight savings time now. So that'll be a 7 o'clock start out in Phoenix. But Clippers Suns at 9 o'clock Central Time, 10 o'clock back east. Damn, that's a late start. But anyway, so there you go. So those are your NBA playoffs, your pairings, your games so far. And then for the NHL, just real quick to let you know how this thing ended up shaking out. Uh, we had four teams from the Atlantic in the East: Boston, Toronto, Tampa, Florida, and then we had four teams in the Metropolitan. We had Carolina, New Jersey, the Rangers, and the Islanders. Both New York teams making it. In the West, it ended up being Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, and Winnipeg there in the Central. And in the Pacific, it was Vegas, Edmonton, the Kings, the Kraken. This is their inaugural season, I believe, and they made the playoffs, so that's pretty good on them. And the Kraken round it out. All right, so for the let's see here. Let's go back. Let's see. Wait. Stars, Blues. Okay. Friday. Was that a thing? Nope. That was just that. Okay. So last night, things got underway in the Stanley Cup finals. The Minnesota Wild are in Dallas. That one went to double overtime, and the Minnesota Wild beat the Dallas Stars 3-2 in the second overtime. In the Eastern Conference, the Islanders at the Hurricanes. Hurricanes defeat the Islanders 2-1 to take a 1-0 series lead in that one. Also in the Eastern Conference, the Florida Panthers at the Boston Bruins. Bruins defeat the Panthers 3-1. And then in the Western Conference, the LA Kings at the Edmonton Oilers, and the Kings defeat the Oilers in overtime 4-3. And then on Tuesday tonight, we've got the New York Rangers taking on the New Jersey Devils in Jersey for game one. We've got the Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs in Toronto. We've got the Winnipeg Jets taking on the Vegas Golden Knights in Vegas. And we've got the Seattle Kraken taking on the number one seed and defending Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche in Denver. So tonight, once again on Central Time here, Rangers Devils start at 6 o'clock on TBS. Lightning Maple Leafs at 6:30 on ESPN. Jets Knights 8:30 p.m. on ESPN2, and then the Kraken and the Avalanche will get going at 9 p.m. on Central Time on ESPN. All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There is your Stanley Cup playoff pairings, your Stanley Cup playoff update. Both the NBA Finals and, of course, the Stanley Cup Finals or no, this is NBA playoffs, I should say. The NBA playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs, both in their opening series. Okay? All right, so there you go with that. Let's see, not a lot of college stuff to report. Oh, golf, just real quick. I did catch the end of the RBC Heritage, played there at Hilton Head in South Carolina. And it came down to a playoff between Matt Fitzpatrick, the defending U.S. Open champion, and, of course, Jordan Spieth, who was the defending champion of the RBC Heritage, won it last year, and it went to a playoff. The first playoff hole, they went back and played 18. Jordan Spieth had a birdie putt to win it, and they had the camera down low on the green, and there was that good camera angle right there, and that ball just started ever so slightly moving to the right, moving to the right, moving to the right, and it basically lipped the right edge of the cup, and Spieth thought it was in. It was not. He finishes with a par. Fitzpatrick finishes with par. We go to a second playoff hole. That one they tie. Then we go to the third playoff hole, and Fitzpatrick hits a hell of an iron shot, puts it within, damn near hold it out, but I put it within like 2 feet of the cup, maybe less than that. And then Spieth had a long birdie putt, and so he misses that. Matt Fitzpatrick taps in for birdie. Matt Fitzpatrick wins that. Formula One. I'm not kind of sure. Next race is going to be next weekend on the 28th. Let's see. And right now, Max Verstappen's leading everybody. He's got 69 points, followed by his teammate Sergio Perez with 54. All right, and that's pretty much it for that. Because I think the last race was the Australian Grand Prix. I don't think there was anything before that. Apparently, that was a fucking shit show. I didn't get to watch any of it, but I just heard because they were in Melbourne that there was a couple of red flags, and the race took 3 hours, which in F1 time is a long fucking time. But eventually they did it. So like I said, they are in Azerbaijan, I think is how you say that. There, it'll be next weekend. Next weekend we'll have the race on Sunday, April the 30th. All right, in Baku. All right, in Baku. We still got some time left here. Like I said, don't want to get too much in the draft talk here or anything like that, but I think we've covered all the sports as far as I know here. And like I said, NFL news. Jalen Hurts signs his big deal. Let me see if I can get the. Let's see. Mm, no, I don't have the numbers for that. But anyway, it was a lot of fucking money, is what it was. So anyway, oh, here we go. Here we go. $255 million. All right, here's by the numbers. Here you go. We'll give you this. All right. Philadelphia is per ESPN. Tim McManus on ESPN. Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts have agreed to a $255 million 5-year contract extension that, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, includes $179.304 million guaranteed. All right. The 51 million average annual value, the AAV as it is referred to, is $51 million per year. That's if you take the 255 divided by 5, you're getting $51 million per year for a quarterback. Just to let you know, now remember the NFL has a hard salary cap. This year, I think the cap is around 220 million or 225 million, and you've got a 53-man roster. $50 million of that cap is one guy. It's stupid. And I don't mean stupid like idiotic. I just mean like that's just stupid, crazy money is what that is. Right? That is just absolutely mind blowing that quarterbacks are getting paid this much money. And like I said, especially when you have 22 players aside on a team plus your special teams guys. And like I said, total you got 53 guys on the roster. So 53 guys on the roster, and one of those guys you're going to pay $50 million to. And then, like I said, you know, that's taking up $50 million of cap space. That's just insane. That is absolutely insane. But it puts him ahead of Aaron Rodgers at $50.3 million a year, Russell Wilson at $49 million a year, Kyler Murray at $46.1 million, Deshaun Watson at $46 million, and Patrick Mahomes at $45 million. It is absolutely crazy. The total value of his new deal is nearly double what the team gave Wentz in 2019. Gave him 4 years, 129. But let's see. So the $224.8 million the NFL salary cap is the NFL salary cap in 2023, up nearly $17 million from last year. So like I said, that $224 million, $50 million is going to be represented by that. Let's see. 64 million, the amount Hurts will make through the 2024 season, including a $23 million signing bonus. His completion percentage. He's only 24 years old. That's always good. So there you go. Yeah, $50 million a year, baby. Daddy should have been a quarterback. Good lord, man. Good fucking lord. That's just a shit ton of goddamn money is what that is. All right, but that's kind of the big news coming out of the NFL today is that contract extension. And like I said, we'll get in the draft talk a little bit later. Right now, we don't know what the fuck's going to happen next weekend, but the NFL draft will be next weekend. I think it starts on Thursday, should be. Or the first round will be on Thursday. I think the second round on Friday, and then I think they do rounds 3 and 4. I think are on Saturday, and then 5, 6, and 7 are on Sunday, which nobody really pays attention to. Okay, mostly we'll be watching the first round, and then after that we'll kind of tune out. All right, but anyway, that's what's going on with the NFL, and like I said, and the fact that Hamlin has been cleared as well. I said Denny Hamlin because I'm an idiot because that's the fucking NASCAR driver. I meant Damar Hamlin. Damar Hamlin, the Buffalo Bills, has been cleared to play and so good on him. Good on him for doing that. So, all right, folks. So, well, that is it. We'll talk more NBA playoffs, more Stanley Cup playoffs, maybe getting the baseball a little bit more. It's early in baseball, though. It's only April. All right, you don't panic in April, okay? The Astros are one game all under 500, and they, you know, and but hell, they were in the same position last year, and the year before, and the year before, and all three of those years they made the ALCS, and two of those years they went to the World Series, and one of those years they won the World Series. So you never panic in April. All right, it's too early to panic as far as that goes. All right, so don't forget, find me on Twitter at JJ Sports Show 63. That's at JJ Sports Show 63. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. We'll talk to you next week from the back porch here on the Jolting Joe Sports Show. Cheers, everybody. All right, see y'all next week.